Nothing better than talking to an offensive coordinator who's on a little bit of a heater. Jim Bob Cooter is on a little bit of a heater. How about against the Raiders? 6 for 6, 6 touchdown drives in a row. That was enough to carry the Colts easily to that 40-6 win over the Raiders. Jim Bob Cooter rolling. He talks about Bernard Raimann as a receiver. He talks about Tyler Warren as a quarterback, as somebody throwing the football. Talks about the fun he has before the game trying to get his thoughts together. Here's Jim Bob Cooter.
The bleachers. Why do you run the bleachers before games?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I love these. Yeah, let's go first or last every week with one. We don't even have to put it on the official video. But yep. 2013, I was with the Denver Broncos, and we had a great quarterback coach named Greg Knapp. And Greg Knapp used to run the bleachers pregame, and he got me to do it along with some other coaches. And he told us, really helped him sort of clear his mind for the game. And he had called plays prior to that year, and he said, when he was calling plays, he really liked to run around or run the stairs and sort of think through his calls, think through the call sheet, think through the opponent, all that good stuff. And uh, that was good enough for me to get me up there. And quite frankly, I don't get enough workouts during the week, so Sunday morning, if I get to the stadium early enough, which I try to, it's a good time for it. So chance to clear my mind headed into a game. Also get a workout, which is much needed as we go through these long seasons. And really appreciative to Coach Knapp for getting me started with those.
And then I guess on a more serious note, that is a cool story. I didn't think we'll go back that far. So you're a decade plus in, my man.
You
Uh,
can't tell. You can't tell though, right? Because I don't get enough of them. But anyway.
now you were locked in. I was just curious. But from a game standpoint, I know we had talked about, Josh Downs and his role, and not that he's complained at all. He's been very forthcoming about how the ball be spread out, but just his ability to help you all on third downs. One obviously is a big deal, but how unique is that when he's able to keep the chains moving? I think, it's something crazy. Like he accounts for like 60 every time he catches the ball on third down, 60% of the time it's a first down afterwards, something like that.
Yeah, he's been really, really good in those situations over the years. With a variety of different routes, route types, route concepts, route depths, man zone, whatever it takes. Josh puts in the work to prepare himself to get open in those situations, and not only get open, but sometimes you're catching a 4 yard pass and you got to find a way to make 13 yards. And Josh is really kind of special at those situations. So he's been great for us. Certain situations come up more or less each game, and some games you're going to have a whole lot of third downs. Some games are going to be third and shorts, third and longs. Those will sort of turn into different sort of target groupings by the end of each game. But Josh has been really good for us, really on all downs. We know sort of third down has been a money down in this league where you're able to stay on the field or you got to run the punt team out there and punt. Josh has been a big part of our success there over the last 3 years, and look forward to him doing more of that. It's been great.
Joel, go ahead.
How weird is it to call two sort of tricky plays down there in the red zone and have them pick up both of them?
They sure did a good job, didn't they? No, we had a couple plays that we've been working on, some for longer than others. Um, thought they had a shot to work. For two different reasons, they didn't quite work. But we still managed to go 6 for 6 in the red zone. Had a good week in the red zone, and if you look on a couple plays after the pass to Bernie, I think Bernie was holding a pass defender backside, which didn't hurt that run play the other way. The second play. So it's important in this league. We've talked about it enough, right? We're going to run the plays that we run best, and everybody in this league is going to have their core plays, those things they do really well and they do really often. But I think it's good to have some creative ideas off of that. You're going to hit some, you're gonna miss some, but our guys rebounded well off of those sort of incompletions, and they're telling me Tyler Warren's was a spiral, so that was good. We were really, really keeping an eye on whether he could spiral that thing, and I think he did. So guys rebounded well. we're, whatever. Some weeks we'll have some stuff like that up. Some weeks we won't. At some point this year, it'll, one of those might work better. But guys did a good job rebounding and going to score touchdowns anyway.
Bernie suggested that maybe you guys are setting him up for bigger receiving category stuff later on in the season.
He keeps hearing me talk about how, the more eligible receiver threats you can have on the field, the better. And like the one way to do it is to somehow create a left tackle that's a receiver threat. So we're trying. I don't know if, Rallis and Gannon are listening. Keep an eye on 79. He is a receiving threat, Bernie. Bernie's done a nice job in practice with that play. You guys would be impressed by that set of clips, him catching the ball. But no, those guys done a nice job, and we'll keep trying to draw them up and see if we can't get one to work here soon.
James.
Jim Bob, when I spoke to Shane yesterday, so she said when we spoke to him yesterday, he described Quentin Nelson as a skill position player. He's like, we kind of treat him like that. We get him out in space. And so how unique is it to have a left guard of that caliber? Yeah, we know his resume and, Hall of Fame, trajectory, all of that. But just from a day-to-day basis, what is it like scheming up for him, knowing that he has such a unique skill set at his position?
Yeah, obviously an excellent player in this league and has been for a long time. And will continue to be for a long time. He's an offensive weapon, right? That's what we talk about different guys being mismatches in the pass game or offensive weapons, guys that are, make a big difference in the game, or you can put in a position to make the biggest catch in the game or run or block, right? We don't often talk about the blocks. We do try to, put Quentin in some of those positions to be in a very important block in a very important moment, because he tends to come through on those things. He's been, so good for so long around here. It's fun to draw stuff up, fun to scheme stuff up. He does such a great job working with the rest of the offensive line group and communicating when things change and when things adjust. And, he's just been so good for us, and, enjoying working with him and looking forward to kind of keeping that going.
There's Jim Bob Cooter having a little bit of fun. That's what happens when you're 4-1. You're 1-4. That kind of fun does not happen. You're not talking about Tyler Warren throwing a ball, whether it's a spiral or not, and not talking about Bernard Raimann being a potential tight end in the offense, other than that one play that we saw last weekend against the Raiders. Neither of those plays worked, but I still think it's really, really good. I think it's a good idea to run those plays from time to time. If they hit, they hit. If they don't, they don't. But you know what? Nobody is going to try to correct or get really smart with Jim Bob Cooter after he went 6 for 6 against the Raiders. That just isn't going to happen. Jim Bob Cooter, good guy. Good to see him trying to stay in a little bit of shape, running the stairs before games. Nice. And good to see him dialing it up on offense and hitting pay dirt again and again and again and again and again and again.